Hi folks, we're back here at Kenrich Products going over the GP-6, and this also will be used for the GP-7, which we're not staging because it's going to be the same switch out. But we're going to use the GP-6 as our demo piece to show the proper procedure for changing out your repair kits. Whether it be your just diaphragms and or diaphragms and flapper valves, personally I recommend changing all of it at the same time. It's going to make your life easier in the long run. So real quick, I just want to say that we also offer this GP-6 plastic body, which that's this here, and we also offer it in the metal pump bodies, which some of you have already out in the field. This is a sub-assembly. It's not the whole pump obviously, but that's a sub-assembly, just to show you that it's the same setup as the plastic pump bodies. Again, GP-6 and GP-7. The tools you'll need, simple, 3 of them. And the good news is one of them comes with the pump. You'll need your 5/16 nut driver, flathead screwdriver, and of course your 5/32 ball driver. Your pump, 6 and 7, both will come with a tool attached to the side. Why is it long and why is it attached? Because you can't use shorter tools because it's a bigger pump. So we throw this in with the pump as a tool to carry on, and it gets into your socket heads real easy from way out in the distance, all around, okay? I mean, it works perfect front and back when you're changing out your flapper valves. Because not like the other 2 or 3 pumps, this pump you're not going to have to disassemble your cap screws and take it away from off the baseboard, excuse me. You're going to leave all this attached, which we'll show you in the video. So hence, that's why you have this long 5/32 ball driver to get to where you need to take off your hardware. So we're going to go over that. We're going to start with your diaphragm and get that disassembled, and we'll go through that real quick here. So here we are, back to the GP-6, changing out the repair kit, which consists of 2 diaphragms and 4 flapper valves because it's a dual pump. So for the sake of time, I've already taken out the cap screws out of the top. I do want to say that on this particular pump and the GP-7, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. You have 10 of the 5/8 screw. So that's 10 of those. And then you have 2 1/2-inch cap screws. The reason for that is if you look up in here real close, you'll see, just like in all of our plastic pump bodies, you'll see these 2 brass plugs, which are universal. They come in all of them. The 6 and 7 are the only 2 pumps that we put in 1/2-inch cap screws to hold the ring down tight, because it is more of a beefier pump, more stout. So hence, just keep in mind when you're putting everything back together, you got 10 5/8 cap screws and 2 1/2-inch cap screws, so you're not messing up. If you put them in the wrong holes, obviously you don't have the length, or you have too much length, etc. So you took your screws out. All you're going to do here, and we're going to only do one side. The reason I'm doing one side is so it's not a long drawn out video. You're going to repeat the other side of the pump, which this is the other side. As you can see, you're going to repeat the process of changing this diaphragm, just repeating yourself, turning the pump all around so you can get to it. That's all. So we took the screws out. You take the aluminum clamp ring, pull that up, and what you want to do is then you want to just pull the lever over. Hang your clamp ring there. There's no need to take it off, and you're going to swing this out. This is pivoted so you can swing it out. Here comes the flathead screwdriver in play. Same as our other pumps. You got a truss head screw. You're just going to want to unscrew that. These are the same clevis pins we use in our GP1 and 2 and 7. So they're all the same clevis pin. You're going to take your screw out. It's 3/4. GP1 and 2, on a side note, have 1/2-inch screws. This is 3/4 because if you notice, instead of the plastic buttons that we use in our GP1 and 2s and 3As, the GP6 and 7 come with aluminum buttons. That's the difference. So you have your metal washer, 1/2 inch screw, 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 1/2 And notice how I'm taking them off and putting them on. So this one here, aluminum off and putting them on. So this one here, aluminum washer on the inside, excuse me, you want to make sure the flat side is against the diaphragm and the boss is facing to you. Then you're going to remove your diaphragm. This would be theoretically your bad diaphragm. You got aluminum button, no washer. Okay, so the aluminum button just goes down. Again, no washer, aluminum button. That boss has to sit on that clevis pin. Then you take your new diaphragm, just like it shows. You put it on there, press it down, make sure it goes around the boss of the clevis pin. Then you're going to repeat the opposite way. You're going to put your aluminum button on, just like it shows. So you want the boss, this surface, excuse me, facing you, the flat surface or the no boss end facing down. Then you're going to take your stainless steel washer. You got to hold that in place. Take your truss head screw and voila, put it on. Again, this is very important to make sure everything goes on the same way that it came off. If you're like me, I recommend doing one at a time. Doing one complete, then going to the other side, do that one complete, okay? Because if you don't put your hardware in the right direction, the right way, it's not going to work right. Kind of like the flapper valves. So there you are. We changed out our diaphragm. Swing it back down. You can drop your aluminum ring down. Remember, as in the other videos, this rim or gasket or however you want to call it, this rim that goes around the diaphragm must go in the trough of the plastic and metal pump bodies. So you got to make sure when you bring it down, drop this down, guide it in there, let it go, it'll lock in place, bring this up, and you want to go around and make sure that this is seating inside the trough. So what I do is I just go around with my hand, push it down, make sure it's seated in there. If you can get a close up on that, you see that it's nice and flush. Bring this back down, line up your hole. Remember, you have 10 5/8 cap screws with nuts, and you have 2 1/2-inch cap screws without nuts because they get threaded into the brass threads that are in the pump body. So don't confuse yourself with that. 2 1/2-inch, 10 5/8 long cap screws. After you mount that down, it's basically going to look like this side. Back to normal. Again, the way you change out on this side, you're going to change out on this other side. Lack of time, I just did one side, not both, but it's a repeat. Okay, so here we are. We finished and just completed our diaphragm change out. Now we're going to do our flapper valve. Again, this is one of the biggest issues we have on the fields, people changing things out. If they don't go back in correctly in the right direction and orientation, you're going to have problems. So this is hence why we're making the videos, to kind of help you guys out and make it easier for you. And that's what we're here for. So this is your aluminum manifold, your outlet manifold, and this would be your inlet manifold. A little bit different configuration to your GP1, GP2, and GP3A pumps, but still the same principle here. So for sake of time, I've already dropped the 1/2-inch cap screws with the washers. You got 12 and 12, so you got a total of 24 altogether that you're going to have to pull out. Not a big deal, doesn't take much time. I'd say about 5 minutes, if that. So once you get those pulled out, again, you got your tool here, that's what you're going to use, comes with the pump. Just drop it as we did, pull it aside, pull your flapper valves out. Theoretically, these would be your bad flapper valves, okay? So you pull them out of the way, make sure nothing's in there, you're good, your manifold's good, doesn't hurt to pick it up and kind of look through with a flashlight or water, make sure you're not plugged. If it's been used, make sure there's clearance, okay? Nice free flow. So we discarded our flapper valves, we got our new ones. Again, real slow. I'm going to show you, this is your hinge. It's always to the top, as in all of our pumps. The bulge with the little tit is going to face on the exit, which is the outlet manifold. So the grout will actually push through and flip it up like this. So that means it's got to go in this direction. The little tit and the bulge part, not the flat, but the bulge with the little tit goes into the manifold. So real quick, boom, just like that, okay? Back your manifold back up. Again, the tits on both flapper valves need to be facing in this direction. Hinged on the top, very important. Then you can go ahead, pick up your manifold, line it up, and put all your cap screws back in. We're going to move over here to the rear of the pump, which is your inlet manifold, aluminum manifold. Little different, but same theory behind it. So what I did here, and this is what we do, some guys do it different, but this is how we do it. You got two clamps back here. One clamp holds the manifold to the hose. The top one holds the hose to the hopper. The top one you can just leave alone. That's how we do it. Just leave that tight. It's the bottom one that you want to loosen up, which we've done already for sake of time. Just let it drop, not a big deal. Okay, that, and we took out our screws, as I said before. That gives you a little bit of flexibility, movement. You don't need a whole lot of room unless you're changing your manifold because somebody left grout in there. But as long as it's free flowing and there's no restriction, all you got to do is move this back enough to get your flapper valves out. Okay, again, they're bad theoretically for the video, but they're not. But you pull out your bad, just let that hang. It ain't gonna fall out. It's just gonna sit. Take out your flapper valves. You got your new ones. Again, same scenario or same way we do the process of all our pumps is the flow, the direction of flow of grout. You got two flapper valves. You got to make sure the bulge side with the tit is now going into the plastic pump body. Okay, because you want both rear and front, all four, to open in this direction. Okay, hinge to the top, and the bulge / little tit to the inside of the pump. Here's the other flapper valve. You just move it back. You got enough room to get in there. Make sure the hinge is to the top. There we go. Simple as that. And then from there, you want to go ahead, and the reason for this being loose so you can move it around and get a little bit of play to get your hardware into your holes. And again, recommendation for me is you got to line up your holes for your just take this out to show you. Again, all your holes for your flapper valves line up with the holes, obviously, and so there you go. And you just, you know, hinge to the top, flow. Both flapper valves have to open this direction because as you're pumping, one opens, one shuts on each pump. When you're done tightening all your hardware down, you can then come up here and tighten your clamp. You want to make sure that don't tighten your clamp until all your hardware is in. So it's going to theoretically sit like this. Then you can come back and tighten your clamp. Alrighty, so we tightened up all our hardware for the front manifold, the rear manifold, and everything's done. I just went ahead and tightened that clamp. You can't forget that clamp that you dropped. That'd be the last thing to put up and tighten because you want to make sure this is in place nice and snug before you put this in place nice and snug. So here it is, it's done. Complete, back to normal. We replaced all our items. So real quick, I'm going to show you when you're done replacing everything, like our other pumps. This is a quick test right away so you can check to make sure, one, you put your diaphragms in right, which that's obvious. Two, it's the flapper valves. You can't see them now because they're closed in, but you want to make sure. That's why I stressed in the beginning of the video or in the middle, make sure at this point when you're changing them, they're going in the right direction, right orientation. Here's a quick test before you even put grout or do anything. One is take the palm of your hand. This is a repeat test with all our pumps. Palm of your hand up against the manifold, outlet manifold, okay? What you want to do is you want to pump kind of about this speed, back and forth. And if you can hear it and see my hand pushing, that's the air, which again simulates grout. That's perfect, that's what you want. And that other muffled sound you may hear from the back, that was the inlet flanges being more hollow because of, or drowned out because of the hopper. So everything is working. You hear that noise in the back, you hear and feel the front. That's what you want, okay? That tells me that that pump is working great. Your flapper valves are in correctly. You're ready to go back to work. That's pretty much it on our GP-6. Again, the rule applies in the GP-7, which we're not going to do a video of that because it's the same thing, double pump, same parts, same everything, same process with the GP-6. If you follow me real quick over here, I'll show you what the GP-7 subassembly looks like, just for future, for an idea. This would be your GP-7 subassembly. So if you could imagine this on the same pump and baseboard, all complete put together. In a video coming up soon, we're going to show how to do the water test on the GP-7. But the GP-7 can get tested the same way as our other pumps because it's no manifold, it's outlet flanges. So just to give you kind of a visual of what we're going after, the GP-7 versus the GP-6. And if you pump that back and forth too, you'll get the same reaction out of the outlet flanges versus the manifold on a GP-7. So back to the GP-6 pump, do an overview real quick. The GP-6 comes in the metal bodies, pump bodies. The repair kits get changed out the same way. Okay, that's just a sub-assembly, but you can envision it complete same way. This is what consists of, real quick again, your repair kit, 2 diaphragms, 4 flapper valves with instructions. When they get mailed or shipped to you, they come in the plastic baggie just like the other repair kits, except everything's double. I do want to say real quick, like our other pumps and like all our parts, here at Kenrich we have every single part you may ever need. If something breaks or somebody forgets and leaves grout in the pump, we have manifolds, we have everything. Hardware. You're stripping out your hardware, accidentally it gets clogged with grout, you lose stuff, don't panic. You can always call us here at Kenrich Products. We do have screw bushing kits, the same exact ones that went into the pump on building. So we do have those along again with our repair kits if you are in need of screw bushing kits. There's another little last tidbit I want to show you guys. Some people call and ask, hey, what's with the handle, the rocker arm, excuse me, it's got 2 holes in it. Your manual shows the pump online. This is the old manual, but online, if you go onto the GP-6 at kenrichproducts.com, click on Owner's Manuals for GP-6, page 11, you'll see the pump the way it's set up just like now, and then you'll see the handle. Of course, it's a different style handle. These are old manuals. The handle is in a down position. So I'm going to go through that real quick for you because the good thing about our GP-6 and 7, not like the other 3 pumps we have, you can either go horizontally or you can go, you can go vertically or you can go horizontally on both sides. And I'm going to go through that and show you right now. You just got 2 1/2-inch tools. We use a driver and a wrench. You want to, this top one only, you want to break that loose. You take off the lock nut on the back. You take off the 2 washers. 2 washers, lock nut, pull that cap screw out of there. You got 1 washer there. Okay, you can just put your hardware down. But what you want to do is you want to grab your handle because it's still pivoted on this one. You do not want to loosen this. You do not want to take anything else out. Just the 1 bolt, okay? You want to drop it down to where it goes into this hole. So you're going to bring it down to where it finds the hole. Boom, there you go, okay? Take your 2 washers, put them back on, take your jam nut, lock nut, put that back on, and of course you want to tighten them to where they're pretty snug. There you go. So this explains a lot of calls, why does the handle look like it's in the horizontal position, not in the vertical. We never ship like this. Obviously, if we did, it'd be sticking out. We'd have to have a bigger box, cost more money. That's why we ship them, and most guys use them when the handle is straight up and down on the vertical. Okay? pumps the same way. You're going to get the same pump action. Okay? Nothing's different except the handle. So if you get in a position where you need to bring the handle down, in this position, because of the work area or space you're in, you have that option, which is really cool. If you want, you can also take this handle. So you take your jam nut, your lock nut back off, grab your 2 washers from this side. You can leave the stud in there, I took it out, but you can leave it in there. You can bring this back over to this side and repeat the same process. So depending on your work situation, your workstation, close in, however it looks, you can use this in the horizontal position either way, or the most common way, again, is the vertical, okay? And that's how you get it shipped to you, and that's how it comes. But I just wanted to show you, a lot of times people say, what are the holes for? Your manual shows 2 different pumps. How can I buy this pump? It's the same pump. You can just switch the handle up. Simple as that. Just make sure, again, you put all your hardware back. So just wanted to show you guys that, because it's a little something extra that the GP-6 and 7 can do, and the 3A obviously can't. Neither can the GP1 or GP2. So again, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope it's been helpful. And we'll see you on our future videos. Thanks again.